Yes, Vérité, it's to start, Vérité, the meaning of the word itself means the truth. The truth in French. So the idea came with by Jess Jackson, which really wanted to create the best Merlot of California. It was his dream, so he was a vintner for already 30 years, working for different winery, owning different winery. So they met with Pierre Seillan, Monique Seillan, so the Seillan family, they met in Bordeaux through different friends. And Pierre Seillan, so at the time was a consultant for several wineries in Bordeaux. And then Pierre and Jess Jackson, they met, they bonded very well together. Same character of person, same mentality, always working to make the best quality ever. And so that's when in 97, the Seillan and the Jackson got together. So they visited Napa, Sonoma, really everywhere, all the ownership of Jackson family. And so that was a déclic for Pierre Seillan, was really when he went to Sonoma. So Sonoma, there's a proximity to the ocean, there's a big diversity of terroir, it's hilly, there's different type of soil, more than 40 type of soil. And then that's where they decided to work together. And then so they decided to make the first vintage in 98. And so choosing some Merlot, some Cabernet Franc, some Cabernet Sauvignon, he made the first blend of Vérité, and it was really a great wine. And then, so year after year, they developed the 3 different cuvées. So Vérité, today we are testing La Muse, which means the inspiration. So that's where everything started. La Muse was a project, was to try to make the best Merlot of California. So that's where it's named from. And then there is Vérité La Joie, the joy, which will be a Cabernet Sauvignon dominated blend with Merlot and Cabernet Franc. So the joy, because Cabernet Sauvignon was a favorite variety of Jess Jackson, and you really gave him joy when he drank this blend. And then the last one, but not least, Vérité Le Désir, which is the desire, which is a majority of Cabernet Franc. Because Pierre Seillan, before working in Bordeaux, was working in Loire Valley as a winemaker in Saumur. And he was working with Cabernet Franc. And it was his dream to make one of the greatest Cabernet Franc outside of France. So that's the 3 cuvées, so Vérité La Muse, La Joie, Le Désir. So they are all equal. There is no second vin or second label for Vérité. It's just trying to make the best as possible to represent the Sonoma County and the 4 appellations of Sonoma County, but we'll speak about it later.
Yes. Right. So Vérité put a lot of efforts on creating different kind of production. And for the people who prefer more elegant style, or people who prefer more curved and structured style, what would you recommend for them?
Yes, so that's a very good question. So La Muse, which is a Merlot-based. For me, this one is the one which is always approachable when it's a little bit younger. So up to 10 years, I would say La Muse is soft, really elegant. So for people who like to drink from the right bank, for example, or let's say more from Saint-Emilion, someone with elegance, or one from cooler climate. So I think La Muse would be the most suitable because of the softness of the tannin, the floral component that we find in the wine, and then again the young approach to the wine. And then for people who are drinking more Pauillac, ones from Saint-Julien, so more Cabernet dominant, we'll go for Vérité La Joie, the joy, which is a Cabernet Sauvignon dominated blend. And this one is always, to me, when I taste through the years, the one which will evolve. As we know, good Bordeaux will evolve, so very tight when it's young. Then on the second part of his life, so from 15 to 25 years, the wine will really get together, soften, but always with this power from the Cabernet Sauvignon, from the Californian sun, from the volcanic soil, all combined together to get really this balance in the wine. And the dark fruits, we've got some cedar component, this graphite minerality that you can find also. So it gives really a wine with shoulder, with big backbone.
I'm very interested in Vérités because it has very special background. It's a Carolina.
Yes.
Have like over 50 micro crew.
Yes.
And like over 4 appellations. It's like a very complicated one.
Yes.
And I just wondered, the cellar master, how does he or she blends the wine, in a very constant way. Every year, you get a greater style, right? It is a very difficult task.
Yes.
And How can you make it?
It's really what is the heart and what Vérité is about. Vérité is a representation of the four appellations of Sonoma, so Alexander Valley, Knights Valley, Benel Valley, and Chalk Hill. So across these four appellations, Vérité owns vineyards, several vineyards, which year after year came to around 50 different micro crus.
Yes.
So single vineyards which are all treated separately all year long. So Pierre Seillan used to work like that when he used to be in Bordeaux. He works like that now for Vérité. And things to remember is that now his daughter, Hélène Seillan, took over. He's taking over the vineyard management and the winemaking. Because for them, it's all about the vineyard. It's all about working each vineyard different way to make sure to arrive to a result of the best at the end. So it is very complex and complicated, both. But that again, when we talk about Vérité on the tasting, at the final one, we talk about layers, about fruit, about secondary aromas, about structure, tannin, acidity, concentration in wine, and all that. The beauty of USA, of California and Sonoma, is that you can blend different appellations. And then so to get the balance, the signature of Vérité, so it's all depend on the vintage. So they don't try to make the same wine every year. They just, the philosophy is to make the best wine we can from the vineyard we have on a specific vintage. But it really gives us the opportunity to work with the best, and if one plot doesn't suit the quality standard, we get rid of it. It doesn't go into the blend.
When drinkers, especially in Asia, they always heard about cult wine, but mainly they heard about cult wine in California.
Yes.
They don't use this term in other countries. How is it from? I mean, how is the term cult wine from, and then do you consider Vérité wine is cult?
Yes, so I agree with what you're saying about cult wine is really a Californian world.
Yes.
The thing is, in Bordeaux or in Burgundy or in northern Italy, there is a long history in winemaking, few hundreds of years. When in the US, in California, let's say the high quality of winemaking is much shorter. So some wine were much highlighted than others. That's where people start to talk about cult wine. So cult is a word we define. It's a little bit like a VIP, if I can say.
Okay.
So it's a prestigious wine, small production, and then which is well recognized and well respected. So we talk about cult wine, we talk about Screaming Eagle, about Arlan Estate, about 100 acres, which are wine which are very rare, hard to find. And if you read about them, everybody who tastes the wine, they are impressed by it. I think Vérité is a cult wine, or becoming a cult wine, because again the first vintage was only 1998, and I think to gain respect and consideration by collectors, journalists, wine critics, it takes time, and Vérité I think is on its way to be a cult wine, but it's all about the quality of the wine. Never forget that cult wine is a good name, but never forget what's inside of the bottle.
The one we're trying now, we're tasting now, we're having here, right in front of us, is 2016. 2017 is going to release this year.
Yes.
And can you tell us, share with us, what the character of this vintage, 2017?
Of course. Yeah, so as you say, vintage in fine wine is really important, and Vérité is really representative of each vintage. And again, we are very lucky and proud about the vintage 2017. We had some really good news from different critics a few days ago. We had some marks from the Wine Advocate. Vérité 2017 La Muse will be 99 points.
99 points.
Yes. Le Désir and La Joie will be 98 points. So for us, it's again a great sign of quality, of course, of consistency. Since 1998, Vérité got 15 times 100 points by Robert Parker, which I think for one winery, it's pretty impressive. And 2017, which will be released in September, it's another sign. But for us, the vintage itself, it was again a great vintage until the fire started. So all year long, we had perfect condition in Sonoma. Regarding the fires, The fire started mid-October, and harvest always earlier than somebody else, so harvest early. So we start the harvest on the 2nd of September, and we finish them 2nd of October. So when the fire started, the wine, 80% of the plot was fermented in barrel, so there's no risk to get any smoke. And vineyards, the fire got close to the winery. To be honest, it didn't affect any vineyard because the vineyard was the wet part of the forest. Didn't burn the winery. We were able to lock down the whole winery, lock down the barrel, so the quality of the wine will be really pristine. And again, if the wine were affected, we will not make it. So that after will be again released in September, and we will go around to taste the wine with all of you. We understand what is the high quality wine. Yeah, so I would like to thank you both really for giving us the opportunity to show you the wine and to compare with these two great and legendary, not cult, but legendary winery from Bordeaux. And again, Vérité is a wine which is really important to the Seillan family, to the Jackson family, and is really wine which we are proud to show. And we're really, again, happy and proud that at Royal Orchid you share our wine with your clients on a way that we like to be shared. Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you for coming and sharing your good wine with us.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.